Day 8 of our 4-day cruise. We are lost somewhere in the... Where the hell are we? Ocean. With no hope of rescue. The food supply is gone, eaten up, or being hoarded by the passengers. Fresh water is non-existent, and the plumbing quit working 3 days ago. No shower, no toilet, no opening the bathroom door for fear of the smell. It is dangerous to even leave the cabin, as many of the passengers have turned rabid and animalistic. The crew is gone, and rules and laws no longer exist. Our cell phones died last night because we couldn't stop listening to music to try and take our minds off the situation at hand. This trip was supposed to be a chance for Josh and me to start over. To again find the happiness we experienced when we got married a year ago. Instead, it has been one nightmare after another. The only thing I have to occupy my time is this journal, which I am using to document our fuck.
Well, hello there, neighbor. I didn't see you there. Actually, this is the first time I've seen you since the trip began. Hello? Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. Just hot, tired, hungry, thirsty, dirty, and smelly. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Thanks for asking. You know, my husband Carl and I knocked on your door a couple of times at the start of the cruise, but nobody ever answered. We like to meet our neighbors wherever we go. Cruises, hotels, tent camping, RV camping, cabin camping. We even like to meet our neighbors in a traffic jam. We were starting to think we weren't going to get to meet ya. Good thing the ship broke down, huh?
Yes, how fortunate for all of us.
Oh, I know it's no picnic. I was just fooling. But I'm glad we finally got to meet you. We were getting to know the folks on the other side of us pretty good. Of course, we haven't seen much of them since the trouble began. But I'm sure everything's okay. You here by yourself or what?
I'm here with my husband.
Well, that's funny.
Why is that funny?
Because I'm here with my husband, too.
Okay, I still don't see why it's funny.
Well, I mean, we both look about the same age. We both have husbands, and here we are, neighbors. Kind of a funny coincidence.
Yes. How strange. Two couples in their 20s on a cruise ship with cabins right next to one another. I bet no one else on this boat is in a similar predicament.
Ship.
What?
You called it a boat. It's a ship.
Whatever, same thing.
No, a boat is different. Boats are smaller.
Huh. All your vast nautical knowledge, and here we are adrift in the ocean. One would have thought you had had us in our way by now.
Oh, I don't know anything about fixing them. I was just pointing out the difference between boats and ships. Like I said, boats are smaller, ships are bigger. And that's why they call this a cruise ship.
In order for it to be a cruise ship, it must be cruising somewhere. Until then, boat, ship, potato, potato, tomato, tomatoes, a floating coffin, and we're all gonna die.
Sorry, I didn't mean to upset you all. Leave you alone.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have yelled at you. It's been a stressful week.
Oh, that's okay. I'm glad you got it off your chest. Best not to keep things bottled up. You know, I don't think I introduced myself. I'm Marge.
Abby, pleasure.
It's nice to meet you, Abby. You know, I told my husband Carl that we were going to be great friends by the end of this.
Did you? Well, there's something to look forward to.
By the way, Abby, what did you say your husband's name was?
I didn't actually, but his name is Josh.
Abby and Josh. I like those names. Those are the names of good people. So, Abby of Abby and Josh, what brought you two on this cruise? A romantic getaway?
Of course, nothing says romance like a dwindling food supply, no air conditioning, and backed up toilets.
Oh, I know it's not so romantic now, but it was at the start. So come on, tell me, was this a nice romantic getaway for Abby and Josh?
Yes. Well, it was supposed to be a nice romantic getaway for Abby and Josh. Now it's just a fetid hellhole and a fucking nightmare for Abby and Josh.
No, don't go back to that dark place you were in when I first came out here. We were having a nice conversation.
We were.
So were you two lovebirds having a good time before the trouble started?
The trouble? You make it sound like all that happened is I ran out of crab legs at the Calypso buffet.
Things could be a lot worse. There are plenty of people in the world that have it worse than us.
Yes, Marge, there's worse suffering than this god-awful place, but things are still terrible for us, and you can't just ignore them.
Well, I just try and not make them sound as bad as they are. Then before you know it, they aren't.
Yes, Marge, they are. Things are as bad as they are. Pretending they're not by renaming them doesn't change how bad things suck. If that worked, therapists all over the world would simply rename people's problems instead of trying to fix them. No, ma'am, your house didn't burn down, taking all your worldly possessions. Your fireplace merely got bigger, and you've now been relieved of the chore of dusting all your
Funny there, Miss Abby. Let me tell you, you're going to be the cut-up of the group.
The group? What group are you referring to?
This little force that we're forming here. I mean, once our husbands join us, we're going to have quite the time.
Oh, dear God.
So tell me about your trip so far. I mean, before the trouble started. What all did you and Josh do?
I'd really rather not.
Come on, did you do some snorkeling? I bet you did some snorkeling. Me and Carl did the snorkeling.
Marge, I'm really not in the mood.
Oh, come on. I guarantee you talking about happier times will put you in a bitter mood.
Marge, I am hot, tired, and hungry. I really don't feel like talking.
Come on, Abby. Did you try the jet skis, do some shopping, try the glide?
Marge, I don't feel like talking. What about me says I do? Take the fucking hint.
Sorry. Maybe I should go inside.
No, don't. Again, I'm sorry. I really just want to sit quietly.
Say no more. I get it now. I can enjoy my magazine, and you can enjoy your peace and quiet. Solitude, I totally get it. I can't believe Carl's still asleep. I really want you to meet him. He'll cheer you right up. I've seen even the gloomiest Gus's cheer up when Carl's around, if he ever gets out here. Even though our vacation officially ended a couple of days ago, Carl still insists on sleeping in. I told him he's in for a rude awakening when we get back to normal, but he just keeps sleeping the mornings away. Maybe I should go and wake him up.
No! I mean, that's not necessary. Let him sleep. I can meet him later.
Okay. I guess I can carry on alone in my quest to cheer you up.
I really don't need cheering up.
So, you never finished telling me about your romantic time.
I never finished. I never started.
So, the snorkeling.
I don't
beautiful. I think that was
what's
the
going on.
romantic thing, Carla.
Am I getting heat stroke?
And the captain's
Must be
dinner
it.
on the
I'm
first
getting
night.
heat
Oh,
stroke.
that
She
dinner we
probably
skipped
doesn't
our
even
so
exist.
silly. And I
She
had
can't be
2
real.
glasses of wine. I know.
I'm dying.
But it was
That's it. I'm having heat stroke and I'm dying.
Abby, you sweetie, you're not dying. You were telling me about your romantic time.
I wish I was dying.
What?
Yes, we did the snorkeling, the jet skiing, the shopping, and the rock line, captain's dinner. We did about everything you could possibly do on this boat. Ship, March. That's why you never catch us in our room. We're always out and about doing things. This was our first real vacation and will probably be our last for a while, and we wanted to take advantage of everything, have fun, and explore. And we saved plenty of time for romantic things too. So there, I know all about our fucking trip.
You keep doing that.
What? Keep doing what?
Using foul language.
I'm sorry. I'm not using it at you. It's just when the situation calls for it, I cuss like a sailor, and nowhere is cussing like a sailor more called for than on a broken down cruise ship.
My mother always used to say that there are hundreds of colorful words out there to describe any and all situations, and those who don't want to exercise their minds choose common and crude words.
Did you just call me stupid? You just fucking called me stupid!
No, I was just saying saying that there are plenty of less vulgar words out there if you just simply try and use them.
So I'm lazy.
Abby, you're putting words in my mouth. I just don't like to hear those words, so if you would be so kind, could you please not use them? I know we are in a less than desirable situation, but there's really no need for those words.
Fine. I'll exercise my mind and find other words to use.
Thank you. So what are you thinking about?
I was just wondering where in the fudge my gosh darn son of a biscuit husband was.
He's inside?
No, he went out early looking for water for us. We ran out.
Why didn't you say so? We've got some we can spare. Carl!
Oh no, that's not necessary. I'm sure Josh will find some. We don't want to take yours.
Nonsense, we've got plenty.
Please, hold your husband. I know Josh will be back any minute with some water.
Stop, I told you we have plenty. And if we're gonna make it through this together, we need to start pooling our resources. And besides, it's getting pretty brutal out there.
Hey, hon, did you call me?
Yep, this is Abby and her husband Josh are out water.
Oh, hey, nice to finally meet ya. You know, Marge here said we'd all be great friends by the time this trip was done.
Yep, she told me. It's very clear she's right.
Be right back with the water.
That's really not necessary. I can't.
Stop, I told you we've got plenty. Can't leave a friend in need now, can ya?
Here you go. Sorry, it's warm. Whoa, slow down there, Missy. You gotta try to make that last.
Thanks, you have no idea how much I needed that.
You're more than welcome. Oh, I just thought of something. I should have served him with those little pink umbrellas, huh? We started collecting them as soon as we got on board. I got a whole drawer full.
Oh, Carl, he's always doing crazy stuff on vacation.
Yep, seems like a real riot.
So you said you're here with your husband?
Yep.
Well, isn't that funny?
I know, that's what I said.
So where's the old husband anyway?
Out looking for water for us. I know he'll be grateful to come back to this, as I am, really.
Stop it.
So I don't mean to pry, but how come we haven't seen you two until now?
Carl.
I'm just asking. She doesn't have to say if she doesn't want to.
Well, you shouldn't have asked.
Like I was telling Marge, when everything was fine, we were always out doing something. Sunning up on deck, swimming, shopping, eating. But when everything went to hell. Sorry, heck. We kind of hunkered down in our cabin. We kept the balcony door closed and the curtain pulled to keep the sun out and tried to trap what was left of the cold air in. The last night we lost the battle. Neither of us slept. We opened the door here last night hoping some sort of breeze would blow in, but by the time the sun came up, the bed was soaked with sweat. I finally came out here to get some air.
You poor thing. We found it's better to keep the door open than closed. A breeze does roll in, occasionally.
By the way, how are you in that robe? Are you on fire?
Nope, I'm as comfortable as can be. I just set my mind to being cool and don't let things get me down, and I'm fine, day and night.
So that's the answer? Mental air conditioning.
Yes, you could call it that. I just like to call it looking for the good in everything.
Uh-huh. I've noticed. Well, when you find it on this godforsaken boat, let me know.
Shit.
Carl.
Anyway, we should go inside and look for Josh. Thanks again for the water.
Well, she seemed nice.
Yep, I'm glad we finally got to know her. A bit stressed out though, poor thing. Had a couple of outbursts, started mumbling something about heat stroke a minute ago. I've been trying to cheer her up.
Well, maybe she'll calm down now that she has some water. Oh, when I went out this morning, I ran into the Jenkins out looking for some food.
How many this time?
3.
Oh dear, maybe we should go and check on them.
Well, just like before, they didn't seem happy to see me. I think it's best if we leave them alone. I'm actually kind of scared to check on them.
Only 3 now? Getting alarming.
Come on, I'm sure everything's fine.
Yes, it has to be. There's a perfectly good reason, I'm sure. Did you find anything when you went out?
Nothing useful. The ship is pretty dark and spooky. Everything seemed picked clean. I made it to the main dining room, but the only thing left in there was a pile of shrimp that should have been chucked overboard 4 days ago. The strange thing was, while I was in there, I kept having this feeling like I was being watched.
Watched? By who?
I don't know. Just that feeling, you know? Like how you know when someone is staring at you even when you can't see them? Like that. Only more intense, like there was more than one set of eyes on me. I poked around a bit, then got out of there.
Maybe you shouldn't go out anymore.
Not much food or water left, especially if we share with our new friends.
Hi! You must be the saviors who gave us this water. I can't thank you enough. I can find anything out there.
You must be Josh. It's nice to meet you.
And no need to thank us for the water. We're just being neighborly.
Yes, we're all gonna be great friends.
Still, you really saved us. I was seriously starting to get worried about what we were going to do. It's getting dangerous out there.
Tell me about it. You just let us know when you need some more. We have plenty.
As soon as the ship broke down, Carl grabbed every container he could find and started filling them with water.
Yep, you even emptied out the trash cans and filled them up. We've been using it to take a little bird bath every morning.
Oh, so you're the reason we all ran out of water.
Abby!
Oh no. Without electricity, the ship can't distribute its water reserves. There's plenty of water on board. We just can't get to it.
The crew has taken over everything below decks. I heard orders through the captain and all the other officers overboard and are holed up down there with all the food.
They can't do that. They'll get in major trouble when we get rescued.
Well, that's just it. Word is we aren't getting rescued. The government said it's too expensive to come rescue us, so they're just going to monitor us and hope we float back to shore.
That can't be right, can it?
Where did you hear that?
From some of the crew, right after the shit hit the fan, but before everything turned all Lord of the Flies out there. They told me that's what the Coast Guard and the Navy told them right before the radio died.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we don't need to worry about that right now. I'm sure everything will be fine. Josh, why don't you come on over and we can divvy some of our food and water up and give it to you guys.
Are you sure?
We don't want to take from you guys.
Absolutely, come on over.
I don't know what to say. Thanks.
Maybe later we can search the ship together and see if we have better luck finding supplies.
We really can't thank you guys enough. If it's true that we're not getting rescued, Josh and I would not have survived.
Like I said, we're happy to help, and I'm glad to make a new friend.
Well, I'm sorry for my outbursts earlier, and I'd like to go ahead and apologize for my future outbursts. I'm sure I'll have a few more.
Why do you say that? Things are starting to look up.
Trust me, I'll have another.
Josh seems nice, and he's cute. I hope you don't mind me saying that. You two seem like a really great couple.
Thanks. Yeah, we are. Most of the time.
I'm just glad we get to share this little adventure with another couple. We were getting pretty friendly with the Jenkins on the other side of us, but no, I don't know.
What do you mean? We're not friendly anymore? They're probably just nervous and hiding like the rest of us. That's what Josh and I were doing.
No, it's not that. I probably shouldn't say.
Okay.
I'm sure it's all in my head.
Okay.
I mean, it can't be what we think it is. It's really none of my business.
Okay.
See, we went and introduced ourselves on the first day, and they invited us in. Nice family, looked like a Norman Rockwell painting. Been saving up for 2 years to come on this trip. There was Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins and their 5 kids. Ashton, Dakota, Taylor, Chase, and Porter.
Wow. 5 kids on this floating hell? That's gotta be difficult.
That's just it. 2 days after the ship broke down, we ran into them. We were all out scavenging for food, and they only had 4 kids with them.
So they left one back in the cabin for safety. This place got dangerous fast.
Right, but later that day, we stopped over to offer them some of the food we'd found, and Mr. Jenkins answered the door, but he wouldn't open it all the way. And he wouldn't take any of the food we offered. Said he didn't need any. Then, this morning, when Carl went out scavenging for whatever he could find, he ran into them again. Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins, and 3 kids.
You're fucking with me, right? Josh!
Abby, what is it?
We have to go. We have to go right now. Grab some food, some water, get a lifeboat or jet ski or anything. We are leaving.
Abby, calm down. What's wrong?
I told her about the Jenkins.
You told her about the Jenkins? Who the hell are the Jenkins?
Cannibals, Josh! They're cannibals and they live next door and they're quickly running out of children.
Hey, it's okay. I'm sure they're not doing what we think they're doing, what it appears like they're doing, what it strongly looks like they're doing.
Abby, I'm sure no one has resorted to cannibalism yet.
Yet, see, you admit it's possible.
No, that's not what I meant.
Josh, get over here. We're getting off this boat.
Shit!
Shut up, Carl, I swear to God!
Okay.
I mean, listen to me. I was just letting my mind go crazy. Actually, now that I think about it, we were having trouble sleeping last night because we could hear the Jenkins over in their cabin being loud. All the Jenkins.
What? You could hear the screams of terror coming from their cabin?
No, I mean, we could hear laughter, didn't we, Carl? Lots of kids laughing, having fun, like everything was okay.
Yeah, sounded like a normal party, a big party with lots of kids. Lots of kids!
Everything's gonna be fine, Abby. We're going to get through this.
You said yourself, no one is coming to help us. We're being left to die and apparently eat each other.
Those were just rumors and BS floating around. We're cut off from the outside world, so people are just making shit up, panicking and spreading gossip because they don't have anything else to do. I shouldn't have even said anything.
No, You said you heard it from the crew, that they got it from the government directly. You said, Josh.
I heard it from one of the waiters. He doesn't know what's going on. You know how quickly gossip spreads when there isn't any actual news. I mean, why would the waiter know all that? And the government can't just leave us out here. We're Americans, damn it. Our sense of entitlement comes from being constantly catered to.
I bet Josh is right. The U.S. government is not just going to let us float around helpless out here. I bet they're formulating a plan right now and we'll be saved in no time.
Saved in no time by the U.S. government? We are adrift on a derelict cruise ship with no power, no water, no food, no working crew, and still we are better to manage than the U.S. government.
You can't give up hope. You have to look on the bright side of things.
The bright side of things? The bright side of things is the sun baking us to death in the middle of the ocean. I don't want to look on the bright side of things. I want to be home. I want to take a shower and stand naked in front of the air conditioner on full blast. I want to drink glass after glass of lemonade until I'm sick. I want to not have to worry about food or water or cannibals. I want to change out of these clothes, but more than anything, I want to get off this boat.
Ship.
Abby! You have to get a hold of yourself.
Fine, I swear I'm okay.
It's gonna be fine, Abby. I promise.
I know, it all just got too much for a second. This vacation from hell, no food, no sleep. I'm hot and I smell, and we are stuck next to quite possibly the most annoying couple on the face of the earth.
Carl and Marge? What's wrong with them? They gave us food and water.
Well, first of all, they're our age and their names are Carl and Marge. The only time you hear those two names mentioned in the same sentence nowadays is when middle schoolers say, hey, did you hear that Carl the janitor and Marge the lunch lady are chaperoning the dates this weekend? And second, I'm sick of them being so nice and cheery. They're those people that are always in a good mood, always happy, always looking for a good in a situation, always positive. I hate people like that.
Okay, listen. You've worked yourself up enough. Carl and our neighbors gave us a little bit of food. Some crackers and granola bars. Why don't you go inside, drink some water, eat a little something, and lie down for a bit. You'll feel better after a nap.
Maybe you're right. I do feel lightheaded.
Is everything okay?
Yes, everything's fine. Abby's just trying to grab a nap. Sorry about her outburst.
Nothing to be sorry for. She pre-apologized. And besides, we're all a bit strained.
Even you and Carl? You don't look it.
Well, we just learned a long time ago to take things in stride. Nothing we can do about our current circumstances except for make the best of them. We could get just as upset as Abby, but nothing would change, so we choose not to let things get to us.
I can understand keeping a positive attitude, but you look so relaxed and refreshed. How? Our room is hot and smelly, our clothes are dirty, our toilet has spewed up the most god-awful stuff. We had to cram towels under the door just to keep it from running into our cabin.
Well, we just learned to make do. Carl saved us enough water to keep us clean, and we make adjustments as we go along. I guess we both live by the old saying, when life hands you lemons, make lemonade.
Trust me, you can't make lemonade with what's in our bathroom.
Things calmed down out here?
Yes, everything's fine. Coast is clear.
I'm really sorry, man. I honestly had no intention of setting her off like that.
Don't worry about it. She's fine now and resting. She just gets stressed out easily. I guarantee you the next time you see her, you'll see a completely different person.
Josh!
Abby, what's wrong? I told you to take a nap. You'll feel better.
Can't sleep, it's too freaking hot, plus I drank all that water and now I have to pee.
Use the bucket.
The bucket is full.
Okay, I'll empty it for you.
No, that's not what I meant. We shouldn't have to empty a bucket every time we have to pee. Josh, I want to go home.
I know you do. I do too. But we can't right now. We just have to make the best of it.
I'm tired of making the best of it. I've made the best of it, and yet I still have to pee in a bucket that is almost overflowing. There is no making the best of it anymore. This is it, Josh. This is the end. This is how we're going to die.
We are not going to die out here.
We are, Josh. We are. We are not getting rescued. We are running out of food and water. There's no hope for us. The worst part is, I never did anything meaningful with my life. I was going to be remembered for something, and now I'll just fade away in obscurity, just another name on the list of dead cruise ship passengers.
Don't you think you're being a tad overdramatic?
No, Josh, I'm not. I'm being appropriately dramatic. In fact, I'm being realistic. You could stand to be a bit more dramatic. Doesn't it bother you that you're going to die out here without making a lasting contribution to the world? That no one besides a few family and friends will remember you?
Even if we had never gone on this trip, and both lived to be 100, you could say the same thing. And we still might after we're rescued. And we will be rescued. We'll go home, start a family, work mundane jobs, and take vacations with the kids once a year. Non-cruise vacations. And when we die, the world will hardly notice, and only a few friends and family will care. And that's fine with me.
Well, I was going to do something with my life, something great. At the very least, I was going to be one of those people whose last words were so profound that people all over the world would remember them.
Uh-huh.
Like George Washington, whose last words were, "'Tis well."
Well, what is so profound about that?
Well, they were memorable at least, respectable. My last words might be, "Pass the Peabody."
Classy.
I like John Adams' last words too. "Jefferson lives."
Again, what is so profound about that?
Okay, those weren't profound either, but they were important to him, and people remembered them.
People remembered them because he was a president. Your last words could be, "Marge lives," but no one will remember them.
Fine then. What about Lincoln? Wait, what were Lincoln's last words?
Probably, "Wow, these are really good seats."
You're trying to be serious here.
No, you're not. You're being ridiculous.
Here we go again. You know, you're just like Marge and Carl. All everyone has to do is put on a smile and tell themselves that everything will be okay, and it will be. And that is bullshit. I'm being realistic, Josh.
Have you ever thought that maybe we are right? That maybe, just maybe, if you change your outlook, things will seem better. And if you think about it, there are plenty of people in the world who have it worse than us.
So you and Marge keep saying, look, I know people have it worse than us. The poor, desperate people of North Korea or Syria or Florida are suffering a lot worse than us. That doesn't change the fact that this place blows. I mean, look at our situation. Those people are starving. We are starving. Those people are living in fetid conditions. We are living in fetid conditions. We are in the middle of a full-blown tragedy, and I refuse to pretend that we're not. And I'm getting pretty tired of being made the bad guy here.
Oh, you're the bad guy. That's funny, because last night you were very clear that I was the bad guy. I guess you figured out that being a martyr gets you more attention than being the victim. Abby, wait. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I made you come on this trip. I'm sorry I didn't listen to you. If I had, we'd both be back home right now, laughing at all the poor saps stuck on this ship, instead of being those poor saps. We could both be back home right now, but we're not, because of me. I'm sorry, Abby.
No, it's my fault. I kept pushing off a trip and pushing off a trip. You were trying to give us a memorable experience because I'm the one who canceled our honeymoon. Because that's what I do. I find the fun and kill it as quickly as I can. I thought I was doing what was best for us, but I only made things worse. I've just been so stressed out since you lost your job and constantly trying to make ends meet. The ironic thing is what we really needed was a tropical vacation. I'm the one who's sorry.
You know what today is, don't you?
What?
Saturday.
It is? I completely lost track.
Yep. Happy first anniversary.
I honestly don't know whether to cheer or cry.
I have a surprise for you. I was gonna save it for later tonight, but I think you could use it now.
Oh God, seriously, Josh, I don't know if I can handle a surprise. Tell me what it is first.
Well, I don't know. Okay. When Carl and I were dividing up the food, we found a packet of M&Ms. Peanut M&Ms. I told him they were your favorite, and he gave them to us.
He did?
Yeah, he wanted you to have them to cheer you up. See, they are nice people.
I know. I'm just really tired.
I know you are.
I'll try to make more of an effort with them. It's just, I'm so tired of hearing them say, just change your outlook, your situation is what you make it, just look on the bright side. I swear, if they say that to me one more time, I'm gonna jump over that railing and... Marge! Carl, hi!
Oh God, Carl's gonna kill us.
fine.
There you go. That's what I like to see. I told you you'd feel better if you just changed your outlook.
Yep, your situation is what you make it. Actually, we have some news we'd like to share with you two. Today is our first wedding anniversary.
Well, that's
Hey,
great.
congrats, you
Congratulations.
two! Yep. And I think we should all celebrate together. Toast our anniversary and our new friendship. Doesn't that sound great, Abby?
Well, we would be honored to share it with you.
Oh, Carl, if you'll let me back in your room, I left the M&Ms in there so Abby wouldn't find them.
Absolutely, come on over.
Congratulations, Abby. First anniversary, that's great.
Yep.
I remember our first anniversary. We've been married over 3 years now, but our first one was great. Carl drove us to Chicago to celebrate. Wouldn't tell me where we were going, but of course I figured it out halfway there. Still acted surprised though. Hurts your feelings if you aren't surprised. He got us a nice hotel room. We saw a Cubs game, ate at a fancy restaurant, saw a show. It was a short but magical weekend. Ever since then, we like to travel. This is actually our second cruise. We took our first one last year. We've been all over the country. Every chance we get, we like to sneak away. We went to Mexico last Christmas, and we're hoping to go to Europe next summer. The trips keep getting bigger and fancier, but I'll never forget that first weekend in Chicago. I knew back in high school that Carl was the man for me and that we would someday get married, but it was Chicago when I truly realized I couldn't live without that man. Oh, honey, what did I say? I didn't mean to upset you. Everything will be okay, I promise. You will get home soon.
It's not that. I mean, it is that, but it was your story and Carl, so happy, so perfect. Josh and I have been trying for that, and it still hasn't come. This was supposed to be that magical weekend for us. Instead, we're both miserable. We keep arguing and fighting.
But you two look so good together.
We are. Sometimes, but those times are becoming fewer and fewer. Last night, the real reason we didn't sleep was because we were up all night fighting. We had our biggest fight ever just deciding to come on this trip. I guess I shouldn't be surprised with how this trip turned out. You know your vacation is doomed when you fight about even going on vacation.
What were you fighting about?
I didn't want to go. He did. Josh lost his job right before we got married. Everyone said we should wait until he found a new job, but we wouldn't listen. We were young and in love, and that meant we knew everything. The only thing more annoying than know-it-all teenagers is know-it-all young couples in love. So we canceled our honeymoon to pay for the wedding. He still hasn't found a full-time job. He works 2 part-time jobs and does handiwork on the weekends for extra money. We saved up enough money to come on this trip, but paying for it wiped us out again. And now we're back right where we started, with nothing to show for it but this nightmare. I really didn't want to go anywhere, but he was so adamant that we go somewhere for our anniversary since we didn't have a honeymoon. He said, a man should take his wife somewhere as beautiful as she is. Normally, I hate sexist crap like that, but his eyes. I could see in his eyes how desperate he was to be in control of our lives, instead of our lack of money being in control. So I said, okay, and here we are.
There's one good thing that comes from trips like this.
Really, what?
Well, when trips go wrong like this one, the company usually gives you your money back, plus a voucher for a future trip. So not only will this one be free, your next one will be too.
A voucher for a future trip? Why is that acceptable in this industry? Your trip was a disaster due to our negligence, so we'll send you on another trip with our company. That's like going to a restaurant and getting food poisoning so bad you're in the hospital for a week, and when you get out, the restaurant says, sorry, our food made you sick, here's a $100 gift certificate to our restaurant. What idiot is going to take that offer?
Carl and I will. Our first cruise was with this company, and nothing bad happened. This was just a fluke.
A fluke? A fluke is when an ATM gives you more money than you asked for. A small mistake that will probably never happen to you again in a million years. This is a tragedy worthy of the Greeks. And more importantly, it's an omen warning us all to stay on dry land for the rest of our lives.
Come on, Abby.
Sorry, but first cruises are like first dates to me. If you keep me longer than we agreed upon, the relationship is over. Josh and I will give you and Carl our voucher. That way you guys can go on 2 free future cruises.
I was kind of hoping the 4 of us could go on one together.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Here we go!
Happy anniversary, Abby. I'd like to propose a toast. First to Abby. This trip isn't what I had promised, or what we had imagined, but I'm sure glad I'm on it with you, and I hope we have many more trips in the future. Second to Carl and Marge. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us today. You've made an unbearable trip much more bearable.
Yes, thank you guys. I know I haven't been the most pleasant neighbor, but I really do appreciate everything you guys have done for us.
Glad we could help. You know, I think it was a sign. Us all meeting, and Marge and I having your favorite candy.
Yeah, you see, Abby, things aren't that bad after all.
Marge, I'm trying really hard to stay calm. I really am. You have to stop with all your optimism. I'm a pessimist. I admit it. I can't change it. Optimism is not the answer to pessimism. Optimism only makes pessimists more pessimistic.
You have to admit this isn't that bad. You're making this out to be Titanic when it's more like Gilligan's Island.
Gilligan's Island? We aren't stuck on an island. I would prefer Gilligan's Island to this. The professor could make me an air conditioner and a shower out of some coconuts, banana leaves, and some seashells. And then the house could come over for some refreshing martinis. This might not be the Titanic, but it's still a pretty big disaster. And the news media better be giving it a proper hyperbolic name so that people will be sure to remember it for years to come.
How about Titanic?
Close, but people might think it's sunk. We need a name as grandiose as that, but that accurately describes the situation. That is important. After memory starts to fade, a wrong name can give a wrong impression. Ask most people, and they'll say that Joan of Arc was Noah's wife. I mean, the Spanish Inquisition sounds like something you get in Mexico from eating bad paella.
Oh, Carl had the Spanish Inquisition when we were in Mexico.
It was awful. Spent a week in the bathroom.
I give up.
I'm sure the news media is already appropriately blowing this out of proportion, and people will be talking about it for a long time. In the meantime, Carl and I were talking, and we think the two of us really need to go out and search hard for some more supplies.
If it is true and we're going to be here for a while, we need more food and water for the four of us.
I don't know about this. You said yourself, things are getting bad out there.
Josh said the same thing.
I know, but we really don't have a choice. Supplies are low.
I thought you guys said you had plenty to share.
Well, I was really just saying that so you wouldn't feel so bad about taking from us. We're not in danger or anything.
But with the four of us, in a few days we will be.
And we'll stick together the whole time. Safety in numbers.
That saying only works if the number is 20 or higher.
We'll be fine, Abby. We divided the ship up into sections, and we'll hit each section and then check in with you two.
And we'll only spend an hour in each section. It'll be fine, Margie, I promise.
Okay, but stick to 1 hour. Any more than that, we'll start to worry.
Deal. Be back soon.
Happy anniversary.
I love you. I really don't like this.
No, I don't either, but I think they're right.
Carl seems like a really good guy. You're lucky to have him.
You're lucky to have Josh. But let's change the subject. It's getting heavy.
Fine. What do you want to talk about?
Let's play a game.
A game? Seriously?
Yeah, it'll be fun. How about I Spy?
I spy? Okay, I'll go first. I spy something blue. Is it the ocean? Is it the sky? We could play for hours.
Fine then. What do you want to play?
I don't want to play anything. Why can't we just sit here? Just sit quietly and not talk. Let's play that game.
All right. How long do you sit here quietly?
Longer than this.
Come on, Abby. Let's do something. If I just sit here, all I can think about is Josh and Carl out there all alone.
Fine, we can talk, but no games.
So, what's the first thing you're gonna do when you get home?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yep. I'm gonna lay in my bed with the air conditioner on full blast and do nothing. After a while, I'll get up, eat some ice cream, and then I go back to bed and do nothing. What about you?
Me? Oh, I'll have to do the opposite. I'm a busy little bee. All this sitting around with nothing to do is not for me. I have a big garden back home that is probably a mess by now, and I volunteered a couple different places that are missing me, I bet. And I'm on our town's Labor Day celebration committee. It'll probably take me a week to sort out and undo the mess they have no doubt made in my absence.
No doubt.
Then, after that, I can rest.
After hearing about all you're going to do once you get home, I need a rest.
Like I said, I like to keep busy.
Don't you get tired doing all that?
No, not really. It invigorates me.
Then is that why you guys take so many trips? Because you stay so busy at home?
I guess that could be part of it. Never really thought about it like that. We don't see a lot of each other at home. Carl's always working and I always have something going on. We use the trips as a way to reconnect. They bring us closer together. Even a trip like this, Carl and I are closer than ever thanks to this little mishap.
It must be nice. Josh and I have never been farther apart.
Well, it may seem that way since you're so stressed out right now, but I can tell that Josh really loves you. When he was toasting to your anniversary earlier, now that was a man that was crazy about his wife. And you said you had a huge fight. Well, what happened when we found that bag of M&Ms? He saved them for you.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, because he would do anything to make you happy.
You're right. You are right, Marge. And I need to start meeting him halfway. No more bitching and complaining about a situation that I can't change.
There you go.
No more trying to bring everyone else down with me.
That's it.
Damn it, we are going to get rescued. I have faith everything will turn out okay.
Atta girl, now what do you say we play that game?
Don't push it, Marge. I'll tell you what we can do. We can make things a little more presentable for the guys when they get back. And if I can borrow some of your bird bath water to freshen up, and we can air out the sheets here on the balcony.
They'll think housekeeping stopped by.
Suddenly, I have a ton of energy.
Me too.
Things are looking up.
It's bad out there. It's really bad out there. We're all gonna die.
Tell me about what happened.
We hit up the main dining room first. Carl was in there this morning, and he said he felt like there had to be food in there somewhere.
Well, and do you remember how I said I felt like I was being watched when I was in there earlier? I was.
We go in, and the place is a mess. Tables and chairs everywhere, and Carl was right. As soon as you walk in, you could feel all these eyes on you. But no one was around.
We started slowly creeping around looking for food. Then all of a sudden, the door we came in through slammed shut and locked.
We both froze and looked around, but there was still no one. We both knew we needed to run, but we were frozen in fear.
I was standing next to a table that still had a tablecloth on it. Suddenly, this wrinkled and bony hand slowly comes out from under it and grabbed my leg. I screamed.
I ran over to help him, but by the time I got there, we looked around, and there was a sea of senior citizens heading towards us from all directions.
And they were coming at us fast. Well, as fast as their walkers and wheelchairs would take them.
This old lady gets next to me before I knew what was happening, grabs one of my love handles and says, "Well, this one's nice and plump." She jabs a fork in my side. She jabbed a fork in my side. I'm bleeding.
Then they all started moaning and reaching for us. I headbutted the lady with the fork and that made a hole. We both started pushing and shoving the old folks to the ground and ran for the service door.
Luckily, we could run faster than they could. But I swear, when we ran through the kitchen, I could hear faint cries for help.
I could too, buddy. I could too.
Did you stop and help?
No! Range geriatrics were hot on our tail.
We found a back stairwell and ran up until we got to the top and went out to the main deck.
There were children everywhere running wild. They had taken over the main deck.
A few adults were tied up and hanging over the edge of the ship.
When the door shut behind us, it made a loud noise. All the kids froze and turned our way.
They were all staring at us with bloodlust in their eyes.
Then this little 10-year-old, wearing the captain's hat and carrying a broken beer bottle, walked up towards us, pointed the bottle at us, and demanded we pay the toll.
My God, what did you do?
I kicked him.
He went sailing through the air and landed in the swimming pool, which was no longer fit to swim in.
Then what happened?
All the kids let out this horrific war cry and charged us.
We ran down the side of the ship until we found another doorway and ducked inside.
We managed to secure the door and ran back for our rooms.
Just as we made it to our hallway, we ran into
the Jenkins.
I'm afraid to ask. How many?
One. It was just Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins and their oldest.
Lord have mercy.
The worst part is, I've actually lost some weight. I've had to pull my belts tighter and my shirts are getting baggier.
And the Jenkins?
Look like they've gained weight.
That's it? We're all gonna die? I knew it! I knew it!
What happened when you ran into them?
They just looked at us awkwardly. We slowly passed each other, heading in opposite directions down the hallway, never taking our eyes off each other.
This is your fault, Marge. This is all your fault.
My fault?
Yes, everything was fine when I thought we were gonna die, but then you had to go and instill hope in me, and now we really are gonna die. Eaten by senior citizens, or the Jenkins, or captured by a rabid group of children and thrown overboard.
That is the most effed up logic I've ever heard.
Effed up? Seriously? You mean fucked up? Just say fucked up, Marge.
No, I refuse to let you drag me down in the gutter with you.
The gutter? Say fuck is the gutter?
Yes, it is, and I refuse to use such foul language.
You're crazy. You're seriously insane.
Come on, Abby.
Yeah, come on, you guys. There's no need to fight. We're in this together.
No, we are not. We are not in this together. Josh and I are in this together. You and crazy women over there are in this together, but the four of us are not in anything together.
Boy, I'm so sorry. I tried to make your trip and your day better. Please excuse me for caring about you and your well-being. Since we were stuck here together and you couldn't get home, I tried to make this a little more like home for you.
No matter what you do, I will never think of this shithole as home. My home has toilets that work. My home has neighborhood kids who aren't trying to kill us. And back in my home, 2 doors down, is a pleasant elderly Polish couple instead of a rapidly shrinking family of cannibals.
I am so sick of you.
You're sick of me? I'm sick of you!
Stop it, both of you!
I'm sick of you and your pessimistic attitude about everything in your potty mouth.
My potty mouth? What are you, a kindergarten teacher? Grow up. They're just words. And sometimes they are called for. Like when you are stuck on this shitty-ass hellhole of a fucking boat.
Shit! Where did it come from?
Look, there.
We're safe?
Thank God!
I knew we would be.
Finally!
Marge, I didn't mean anything I said to you.
Oh, Abby, I'm sorry. I'm so glad we met. Me too.
Well, but it looks like we made it.
And just in time.
When we get to the ship, let's make sure we get cabins right next to each other.
Yes, and when we get home, you and Carl are coming to visit us.
Not before you and Josh come and visit us.
Hell, maybe we can all go on another trip together. It can be memorable in a good way. Shit, I just swore, didn't I? I did it again. I'm sorry, Marge. If we go on another trip, I promise to clean up my language.
That's all right. I was just being too much of a fuss bucket. We're saved. Who cares what you say?
Looks like we're going to be seeing a lot more of each other.
I told you we were going to be good friends by the end of this. I called it.
Yep, she called it. She said, you know, hon, by the end of this, we're all going to be great friends.
You know what? That's probably the euphoria talking, but I think Josh and I will use the free cruise voucher we get from this, and the four of us will go on a cruise together. I mean, it can't be any worse than this, can it?
There you go. You look on the bright side, the dark goes away. We've been through the worst. Now good times must be ahead.
As soon as we get on board, I'm having a nice cold margarita and hitting the lobster bar.
I'm heading straight for the shower. It'll be cold and long, and I'll alternate between drinking the water and bathing in it.
I'm going to the bathroom, then I'm taking a shower, and then I'm sleeping for at least 2 straight days. What about you, Marge?
Well, I'm going to sit down and finish my crossword puzzle.
That's it?
Yep. They gave me an extra week on here, and I still haven't finished it.
Okay. Well, it doesn't matter. The point is they're safe!
Wait a minute. That ship looks full.
She's right. The deck is full of people, and most of the balconies have people on them, too. There's no way it can hold all of us and all their own passengers.
And why isn't it coming toward us? It's sailing parallel to us, and it's too far away to be coming up alongside us.
Josh, go inside and grab the binoculars.
I don't understand. They have to be here to help us, right? They have to be here to help us. They aren't just going to float on by. Are they?
There has to be a couple thousand people on it.
They didn't come to rescue us. It's just some stupid passing boat!
Shit.
So that's it then. We really are going to die.
Wait,
banner along the side of the ship.
That's what you get for booking a discount cruise. Next time, go to www.luxurycruises.com.